Hello pilots and welcome back to another X-Wing flight video brought to you by Out of Arc Gaming. Today we have round 3 of the Ambush at Alderaan tournament, recently hosted by Entoyment Wargaming and Hobby Centre in Poole. It was an absolutely fantastic competition and hopefully you've watched round 1 and 2 so far. So if you haven't, stop the video, go back and watch those and then come back for this one because we are halfway through the tournament at this point. But for round 3, I am in fact joined by...
Hi folks, it's me, Ben Kennedy, local player at Entoyment. Thank you for having me on the channel, Phil.
No worries, Ben. It's always a pleasure to have you on the channel. Viewers will probably remember that you were featured in the previous game, Flying Resistance, which is something that a lot of the local guys in the store are getting familiar with you flying, as you're normally a big Scum fan.
Yes, I am indeed. I do like my Scum. However, I've played them for a long time, and I thought it was time for a change and fly a bit of Resistance for a bit.
Absolutely. To be honest, it's quite nice to change things up a little sometimes. So, we do have a Scum list on the board this time, so would you like to tell us what we have going on there?
Indeed. Okay, so we've got Rich. So breakdown is this then. So he's flying a M3 Interceptor, so Genesis Red, with Elusive and Ion Torpedoes. Then we've got the ever dangerous Fen Rao with Fearless, an autopilot drone, and then a decked out Han Solo with Trickshot L337, Kira, BT1, Shield Upgrade, and Lando's Millennium Falcon.
Indeed, a very tricked out Han Solo. And what kind of makes me upset about that so often is how ridiculously cheap that ship still is with all of those upgrades on it.
They're so cheap. The Falcon. Yeah, it's amazing what toys and tricks you can get on it.
Yeah. It's just absolutely rude. I mean, I've played against your Han Solo a couple of times, and it just, again, it always amazes me how few points that ship actually is.
Oh, yeah.
But facing off against Rich, we have Madbots with his Rebel Jank. We have Jake Farrell in the RZ-1 A-Wing with Predator and Proton rockets. We have Tendum in the B-Wing with marksmanship, fire control system, jamming beam, auto blasters, and stabilized S-foils. We have Garvin Dries in the T-65 X-Wing with advanced proton torpedoes and servo motor S-foils. Rounding the list off, we have Dutch Vander in the Y-Wing with the dorsal turrets, advanced proton torpedoes, and thermal detonators. So 2 very different styles of lists here, I feel.
Yeah, a very punchy rebel list. A lot of firepower with those advanced proton torpedoes as well, and all those passing of tokens and target locks.
Yeah, it's going to be quite an interesting one. Quite a dangerous list, I feel, to go up against. And again, not something that you're going to want to joust.
No. Fenn's going to have to be careful here and do some arc dodging.
Yes, very much going to have to watch out because some of those ships have some very interesting dials, and that dorsal turret on the Y-Wing is probably going to give Fenn a little bit of pause about coming in so quick. But I mean, initially, seeing these lists, which one would you say you probably favour?
Ooh, no, that's a tough one. I mean, my heart kind of goes out to Scum because, you know, Fen Rao is my ship. To be honest, I'd probably favour the Rebels. Yeah, I think they could burn down Han Solo really quickly.
Yes.
The fact that they've got advanced proton torpedoes, and Dutch has got a dorsal turret as well, makes it a very difficult approach for the Scum.
Yeah, definitely. You've got to be very careful with them. You want to stick further back, which Fen really doesn't want to. Fen wants to get right in there, but if he gets too close to Dutch or Garvin, those advanced proton torpedoes are going to make it a very bad day for Fen.
Yeah, even with it all his defensive rolls, I mean, you're chucking 5 dice. Even with Concordia face off and all those, he's still likely to get 1 damage through at least, and that's normally going to be the crit.
Yeah, and I also agree. Han Solo is going to want to be careful as well. He's not going to want to get too close, as we know from the previous round when a large base ship gets up close and personal with some small base ships. That large base ship doesn't tend to last very long.
I think if I was flying the Scum list, I think I'd probably be thinking about, okay, I can't joust him, so can I try and pull him into the rocks in the middle, try and break up his formation, because most of the time he's going to want to fly, the rebels are going to want to fly quite close.
Yeah.
And if you could try and break up their formation a bit, be a bit patient, use the rocks, use your trick shot, Kira to your advantage, come around the flank with Fen. It's going to have to be a patient game, I think, for the Scum.
Yeah, definitely. You're going to want to draw them in with Han Solo, really utilising Kira and trick shot, and hopefully maybe even BT1 in there as well if they've got some stress, which, as we know, Tennum he's wanting to have that stress there for his ability. So potentially that will be quite helpful with BT1.
Yeah. Here's an interesting question. So I faced up against a few of these rebel lists, and they are quite popular now. And they all come in sort of the basic sort of format, but a few changes here and there. Sometimes you get Hawk put in there, a few other bits. However, if you were facing up against this, which ship out of the rebels would you try and take down first?
That is a good question.
It's a tricky question, isn't it?
It is very tricky because all of those ships have something about them that makes them quite scary. I would, because you kind of want to get rid of Garvin for that instant focus transfer.
Yeah.
Jake, again, he's got the ability to allow them to do it, like get the focus, but I'm not sure how often that's actually going to be.
It's a bit more situational, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit more situational. I think for me, I don't know, Dutch has also got his ability, which, if I remember rightly, is the target lock. Yeah, it's such a tough one.
Yeah, I think, I don't really think there is a right or wrong answer to this. Yeah. However, I would be inclined to go for Garvin, because he's also got the advanced proton torpedoes.
Yeah, I would say for me...
And he's got the standard 3 dice as well.
Yeah, I'd be looking at Garvin, although he can't do any passing of tokens, Tennum's loadout with auto blasters and marksmanship
also nasty, yeah,
is very nasty. So I think the one ship I would probably not be so worried about unless it was right in front of me is Jake.
Yeah.
Because although they're fast and nippy, they don't really have the teeth to be causing danger. But the other three...
He does, however, have proton rockets, which is a good call, because then Jake can be a bit of a threat on his own.
Yeah.
Proton rockets with Predator is quite a nice...
Yeah, that is
well-spent upgrades.
That is a nice combination there. They do... proton rockets are good. Predator doesn't work with proton rockets because it's only on a primary attack, but still...
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but still, they are pretty handy. I mean, obviously you've got to have the bullseye, but then it's a 5 dice shot, range 1 to 2. So if you get it off, amazing. But I genuinely think that whichever one of the other 3 ships that you can get a shot on first and start whistling down, you need to take that straight away and then try and get rid of that ship.
Yeah, I find that with a lot of my games, I sort of look at a list and go, right, I kind of want to, that's my priority to take down. But ultimately, when it comes to actually flying, it's whatever ship kind of presents itself as the easy target, the one that I can focus fire on, and then I just go for that.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm looking at it now. With the positioning that we've got, I can imagine that we're going to see these rebels come in quite hard here to see if they can catch Han. Jake probably actually going to go a bit faster than that, I think, but that's, I think, would be a really good option to get in quick and really cause some pain there.
Yeah, Han's got to be careful here. Although he could fly through the center and try and boost away.
Yeah.
Just basically be a little bit of a bait. Try and draw them into Fen.
So yeah, there's our first attack. They have forgotten the dice tray, but it looks like no damage there. So
yeah. Oh, there we go.
Using the dice tray. Yeah. So
yeah.
No damage. As you kind of expect, first engagement from range. Now, one thing I do find interesting is Fen Rao here at the top of the board now. Bearing in mind he started here, he's obviously gone all the way up. So it's almost like he's resetting himself.
Yeah, you kind of want to keep Fen safe until you can gauge like where your rebels are going to be. Wait for them to maybe hopefully split formation of it.
I mean, we did see in round 1 with Rich, he was very cagey with Fen and Genesis Red, and although he got the win, it was interesting some of the positioning that Fen was in. It almost backfired for him at one point. He had several HMPs shooting at him with no shots back, and he managed to pull it off, but it was a bit nerve-wracking watching that. Yeah,
I can imagine HMP droids with their 180 arcs would be a bit of a concern for Fen.
Yeah.
Not so much in this match. More chance of dodging some arcs.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, both of these players are currently on 2-0 in the tournament. Rich has had a close win in round 1 that was on the channel, and quite a good victory in round 2. Madbots has had 2 very strong victories so far, so it'll be interesting to see who takes this. And there is Jake pulling in front of the rebel formation and doing a barrel roll. And I think it's quite nice them turning in there, because it gives them a sort of an opportunity to have a nicer run through those obstacles.
Yeah, they've got quite a nice lane now, where they can either go continue straight now down his side, or they can actually come into the middle.
Yeah, I mean, if they were to bank through, they could get quite a nice run through there. So I'll be interested to see, because Genesis Red looks like they're also coming down the middle, and Madbots has obviously got initiative, so he's going to be moving first, but I don't think he's too bothered by that. He's got all I4s. There's Dutch's ability giving both him and Garvin a target lock there. It's almost a shame that Han is going to still move, because Jake might potentially have just sneaked in a range 2 bullseye for protons there. But yeah, there's the fake out of the barrel roll there with 10 numb.
These are with all these focus tokens going around, it's good fuel for Genesis Red.
Yeah, so Genesis Red, if I remember, taking the target lock and getting the same token that ship has, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, great little ability, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's nice fly in there to squeeze between that gap.
Yeah.
Dodge those arcs. Oh.
It's really nice. I think that the only thing that's gonna
That's a good play there. I like that.
Yeah, I think you might have Tendum just catching and Garvin's dorsal turret, which I believe is pointing ship right, but it has avoided Garvin and Jake there.
Yeah, I like that because now Han Solo is going to get behind that fleet.
Yes.
With Fen coming in from the front.
And not only that, Han Solo does have that gas cloud in between them locked, so Kira will be active as well as trick shot. Slight nudge there on Tendum. Something I've definitely had to get used to since coming back in store and not playing on TTS. But looks like,
at least you can be clumsy with TTS.
Yeah. I think we might, in fact, be going in on Tendum, which at this point, target of opportunity, I think that's not a bad one. He's got the stress there, so BT1 will allow him to change 1 to a crit. And Tendum doesn't get the gas cloud. Oh, dice roll. Just going to move them into the
5 dice from a Falcon. I love to see it.
Yes.
That's a pretty good starting roll.
Yeah, and there's BT1.
BT1, yeah.
So spending the stress, so just 2 shields on Tendum. I think that's a good start, to be honest. So what do the Rebels have in store then firing back? So are we going to see Tendum take the first shot? We'll see Garvin so he can pass the focus token, I can imagine.
Normally you'd probably shoot Garvin first, pass the focus token.
But Tendum's already got the focus token and looks like he just catches Han Solo there, but I think it's at range 2. Would you go with normal attack or would you go with auto blasters? He's got auto blasters.
Normal attack.
I think he went auto blasters. They're actually 2 dice. So I think I'd have gone normal attack, to be honest, but gas cloud saves Han there. So I believe this is Garvin on Genesis. Nothing to change it there because the target lock is already on.
Should be fine. Oh, to spend the focus.
Oh, go for elusive first instead.
Oh, good use of elusive, yeah. Keeps the focus token.
I very rarely see elusive actually come off.
So you could fire ion torpedoes. Is ion torpedoes range 3?
You've
got the lock.
I'm not 100% sure. I think it's range 1 to 2, but that'd be ion torpedoes.
Yeah.
So spending the target lock, spending the focus needs a lot of paint here. Otherwise, Garvin is ioned, and Garvin does not want that right now.
Well, I suppose it's not too bad for Garvin. I mean, they're kind of going to go probably slowly straight forward and focus.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So that is 1 damage and an.
But at least he knows. And because Garvin's being the front ship, it kind of sets the tone for what the rest of the rebels are going to do.
Yeah, I mean,
it gives you some good information.
Yeah, they've all got the ability to do the 1 so that they don't stack up behind. Then I can imagine we're going to see Jake do something a bit faster to come round the side there. Maybe try and head off Fen Rao potentially. So now I take it if it was you'd definitely be swinging Han in round behind them.
Yeah. So Han Solo, I'd definitely be doing. I think it's too hard They haven't got one hard, do they? No. So 2 hard around.
Yeah.
Um,
Followed up by a boost, or would you just take a focus?
I'd probably stay there. You might get a chance of getting another trick shot.
Yeah. I do find it interesting, obviously, with Kira,
Dutch does have bombs.
Oh, the thermal detonators.
So I wouldn't. I would try and stay a little bit away from.
Yeah.
Dutch.
As I say, what I find interesting with Kira, where you're pretty much going to be target locking obstacles quite often, although it gives you that advantage when shooting through them, do you sometimes feel that you miss the ability to actually use that target lock to change dice?
Yeah.
It's a real tough one. It gives you a definite advantage, but also just makes it so difficult because a target lock is really nice to actually have to be able to use. Oh, and it looks like we are jettisoning the autopilot drone there.
Interesting. For some blocks.
That is quite nice because that is definitely going to catch Garvin regardless of what happens. It all depends on that. It all depends on if Madbots had anticipated that with 10 and Dutch. So I do remember that obviously Madbots was querying the fact that the ship was coming out the back. And I did remind him that that is a way that it can come out. It doesn't have to come out the front when it's undocking. Well, let's be honest, we don't see many undockings in standard play. I think there's only 3 ships in the game that actually have undocking mechanics, and that's the Ghost, Lando's Falcon, and the Houndstooth when it's got the Nashtar Pup included.
Yeah. Don't see much of the Ghost anymore.
I think although it's a really good ship, it's a tricky one to utilise well. I don't know if all of the pilots are as viable as you'd like them to be. I know that Callus was quite a good pilot, and I saw quite a lot of them.
Callus and Hera were okay.
Although I did find a lot of people were quite like Zeb, with the ability to shoot at range 0. The only downside to that is it does also allow your opponent to shoot at you at range 0.
Yeah.
So
you can combo that with the Intimidate.
Yeah.
To give you a bit more advantage.
Although if you want to do bumping and intimidation and shooting, you can't really beat Captain Oikon for that. Oikon with Dauntless, Intimidation. Why not throw in Darth Vader, BT1 and 000 as well? And that's just an absolutely brutal combination. Oh, I think Jake's going to have to barrel roll if he doesn't want to take some damage from that autopilot drone.
Question is, what is Fen doing? Is he going to come in aggressive?
I think that Rich has obviously planned for Fen to come in a bit softer, purely because he knows the autopilot drone is there. Now, I've seen Rich was on the channel for round 1, and he's very good at being able to play that patient game. So he's able to not just come charging in, as some people can want to do with Fen.
Yeah, you've got to be really careful with Fen. You've really got to know your ranges. Because if he gets caught in range 2, that's not where Fen wants to be. Fen does not like range 2.
Range 2 is the enemy for Fen, and he is really good. And although it is sometimes quite good to get him right in there facing off against a pilot, again, you've got to be slightly careful with that because it can backfire. But generally, I mean, we know what Fen's like. I've lost count of the amount of times we've said it on the channel, but he is one of the top tier pilots. He's just very, very powerful. And love him or hate him, he's just really good. And that's why you pay the points for him, to be honest.
I always find, having flown Fen quite a lot, I've always find he's the most dangerous when he's got 1 health left. And your opponent is frustrated and trying to chase down a 1 health Fen. And he just murders everything and still got 1 health left.
Absolutely. I mean, we actually had a game on the channel with a 1 health
good
Fen
dodge.
taking on Lebo.
Yeah. Oh, it was good dodge by Fen here. It can put a lot of pain onto Jake if that's who he chooses to shoot.
Yeah, I think Fen is going to go in for Jake, and that is great. Although he's not going to get all of his Concordia face-off and everything, he is still going to cause a lot of pain there for Jake. And it looks like Genesis and Jake have just managed to get out of the range 1 bubble there for the autopilot drone.
Okay, so is Han going to continue to go on to 10 none? No trick shot this time. Ooh, hit crit.
Yeah, good 2 damage there.
Yeah, crit goes through.
And that crit is a blinded pilot.
Cool. Fen doing horrible things. Is he going to spend that focus?
I'm surprised that he didn't there, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
I think he's just trying to keep Fen alive because, yes, you could do a lot of damage to an A-wing, maybe even kill it, but if Fen goes down, it could be a massively uphill struggle.
yeah, I think he was worried about the fact that you're looking at Garvin and Dutch both taking shots at him. I don't think that Tendum can quite sneak a shot in, but
He's got Jake down to half already.
that's not bad. That's not bad at all. So it's Jake and Tendum down to half. Shields off on Garvin and only 1 shield left on Dutch. All for 0 damage coming back.
I think Rich has played this round really well.
Yeah.
Whoa, gas cloud saves him there.
Oh. I do love gas clouds. They're very forgiving.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a better shot from Garvin there. And there is why Fen saved that focus.
Yep, good chat.
So we'll let Rich off. He called that really well there.
Yeah. Doesn't matter how many green dice you roll with Fen, you're never quite sure of the outcome.
Yeah, and as we know, green dice are not the best. Oh, here's a shot from Genesis. Gas cloud back, so no damage on Tendum there. So I anticipate that we'll see some thermal detonators dropped here, with Han Solo in a very nice position to be caught by them pretty much regardless what he does, I think.
We're looking at some K-turns from the Rebel squad.
I think that would be probably quite good. I mean, Tendum's got that 2k, which will clear that gas cloud, so no strain there. Gives him the stress that he likes. Dutch, it's got the 4k, takes him quite far. All depends on what Garvin's got, because they're currently touching, so it'd be quite tricky. I think maybe if Garvin was to do the 3 Talon instead, like if you let Jake go all the way past, Garvin does the 3.
Yeah, that could be an option.
So yeah, 3 Talon, I'd say here.
But that would block any potential left turn from Fen.
Yeah, which would be quite good. And there's the thermal detonators, and yeah, Garvin potentially doing the 4k, and I'd reckon a 2k here from Tendum would be pretty good. But again, we'll have to wait and see what they come out with. But there's those thermal detonators. They've been quite popular.
Very popular, yeah, for, what is it, 3 points?
Yeah.
To give you that threat. I mean, they don't always guarantee damage, but just for the threat of having bombs, definitely worth it.
I mean, 3 points, so you essentially get 4 bombs with them as well.
Yeah.
And when you reload them, you reload 2. Oh, a 2 hard instead. Okay, so still just getting quite good coverage there on Fen.
Yeah.
So I can anticipate looks like it's a 2 hard from...
Oh, he's trying to trap Fen. Maybe he's thinking Fen won't go flying past because of the bomb threat.
Yeah. Or hoping that one of them bumps into Fen. Now, I think what you'd want to hope is that Fen bumps into either of them and then allows the advanced proton torpedo from the other. Yeah. Interesting from Tendum, just doing that straight. Checking for strain.
Genesis got nice. If Genesis can do the 1 hard to the right.
Yeah.
Really position.
Oh, no, Genesis going far.
Maybe a K turn?
There we go.
Yeah.
That's actually brilliant for Genesis, because I think that's also just outside of range 1 of that thermal detonator.
Yeah.
But we'll see. And that's Jake not really doing anything again for another turn.
All depends on if Fen can escape these 2. Then it'll be a pretty strong Scum turn again.
Yeah. And Han Solo is going to be eating both.
Oh, he has gone.
Oh, he has done it. So that's straight into Garvin. I think that's actually the better option because...
Well, yeah, it's always found it quite strange. So a lot of the times when you bump with Fen, you're like, actually, it's actually quite a strong position because Fen loves to be at range 1.
Yeah.
It's one less ship shooting at you, and Fen loves one-on-ones with his range 1. So that's actually a really good position, even though he doesn't have any tokens.
Oh, so it's a strain and a damage on Han Solo there. Unfortunately, nothing is there to take advantage of the fact that Han is strained. And looks like we're going...
Burn down Tendum.
I would say so. I think that would be the best option. Oh, that's not bad at all.
Wow. Great hit.
Oh, and that is another crit going through on Tendum, and that was a direct hit by the look of it.
And so dishing out the pain.
Oh no, sorry. Panic Pilot. And that was actually on Jake, I believe. No, sorry, the Panic Pilot was actually on Tendum, but the stress tokens have been put on Jake for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Ouch.
Oh, out. Fen doing horrible things.
Hey, but the Y-Wing gets the evade, so Y-Wing half pointed, taking a lot of damage there, but I'm pretty sure that's still in arc, so I think we're probably going to see an advanced proton torpedo coming off there. Yep, the charge is flipped.
Ooh.
Fenn has no focus tokens, but
Fenn's holding his breath. Oh, need some more.
You definitely spend it.
Yeah, you gotta go full.
You want that perfect. Oh, that's not great. It's not bad, but it's not great.
Bad.
Oh, but that is hit crit on Fenn Rao. That's half points.
Half points.
And that is also a panicked pilot on Fenn Rao. That is one of the worst ones that Fenn Rao can get there, to be honest.
Yeah, the only good thing with that is so the rebels are not in a great position to swing round to get Fenn.
I mean, again, we could see that Talon roll from
yeah.
65, and Garvin does have the dorsal turret, so he could still swing up and catch him in that dorsal turret if Fenn doesn't go too quickly.
Well, that's one way to get around Fenn's defense. Chuck an advanced proton torpedo at him.
It is a good option. But Fenn is almost in his point where he's most dangerous, which is at 1 health. Because as we've said, a 1 health Fenn is probably scarier than a 4 health Fenn. But while we're waiting for them to do their dials, again, I think it's another good point to remind everyone that we do have a Patreon for Out of Arc Gaming. So if you enjoy what we do here, you can click the link below and support the channel from as little as £2 a month. Any support you wish to show us would be very much appreciated, and it will help us to bring you more great content. And we will be posting additional little snippets up on our Patreon page as well. Right, question for you, Ben.
Yeah, go for it.
Drop the other thermal detonators at this point?
Ooh.
Or even just one? Oh, actually, maybe 2 with Fenn there.
I'd be inclined to drop both of them. Fenn is pretty limited.
I mean, he's got the strengths, but I think he would not be able to get out of both of them if he dropped them at range 1 and 2.
That's a good bit of denial in that area. You guess Han would come in slow. Maybe a 1 bank.
Yeah, I think you'd get a 1 bank from Han coming up to here. And then Fenn, knowing Rich, I think Fenn would do a 2 hard this way to try and clear the stress. Oh, and we do have the thermal detonators, so I think this could be quite painful. I mean, as we said, obviously thermal detonators, there's no guarantee that they are going to cause damage, but getting strains on ships is also really good. We got just the one, or just trying to find the range 1 ruler there for that?
Yeah, I think you put the both down.
Yeah. And again, 3 points. Amazing upgrade. I really love them. They're just so fun. Right.
So 10 nums should have those 2 stress. Yeah?
10 nums should have those 2 stress, yes.
Yeah, because that would be crucial, because you won't be able to K-turn around.
No. But still not K-turning. Oh, getting rid of the
he is
blinded pilot.
Yeah.
So that is interesting. There is that the 3 Talon? No.
Oh, interesting.
It surprises me that Madbots is sort of pulling away there. I would have thought that he would try and get back in and double down, unless he's going for the long game reposition. Does Garvin clear that?
Well, that's going to be tight.
He does just clear it. That is very tight. So if Fen does anything other than going to the right, he's probably going to be taking a dorsal turret shot there. Genesis now having to be careful again, because facing possibility of thermal detonators the other way, but I think might be okay.
Yeah, going to try and finish off 10 num.
Yeah, I think once he got 10 num there, take him out. I mean, he is the most expensive ship on the board for Madbots at 56 points.
Han Solo just eating up all these bombs.
Yeah.
Just going around collecting them like they're coins.
He's loving it.
Yeah.
He's got the shields to take it anyway. I mean, he's only lost one shield at this point, so.
He's like, yeah, guys, leave this to me. I'll set up all the bombs. I'll clean them all up. I've got the shields.
Will he move on up further though? No, rotating the arc, I think, in preparation to try and just double down on 10. Oh, there we go. So
there you go, you called it.
Yeah, called the too hard. I'd have called them both there. Still definitely eating at least one of those.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, I'm not sure if it gets him out of the dorsal turret either. That's so close.
I think he's out.
So this is for Genesis. Is fine. Han gains a strain. And Fen also gains a strain.
Ooh, okay.
The other bomb. This is Fen. Fen takes a crit.
Oh, that was on Han.
Oh, that was on Han, sorry.
Yeah.
And still a damage on Fen, so Fen is now in his one health stage. He's
Fen's made it to the danger zone. Fen's happy now.
Yeah. Oh, going for Jake?
Interesting.
Very interesting. Oh, there's the stress, so BC1.
Yeah, this is from Han.
Oh, that's bye-bye, Jake. Okay. Yeah.
Oh.
Clears those stress that are in the wrong place, but ouch.
Han's been rolling a lot of crits.
And checking the dorsal, so Fen did get out of the dorsal turret, but as we said, Han is in the dorsal turret, so no evade tokens for Han because he's strained. So that's 2 damage. But again, at this point, Han really doesn't care. And Genesis spending the last ion torpedo token.
Ooh.
Well, someone is definitely ionized.
Yeah.
Yep, so taking 1 damage, ionized.
Poor 10 num probably won't ever get to turn around.
Nope, I think Genesis is just going to sneak up in behind. Might have to be careful of Garvin and Dutch there, but again, I think Garvin and Dutch, they're going to have to turn in, but it's just interesting. I think Fen is obviously just going to disappear for a little bit.
Yeah, reset.
Clear that last stress, and I think Han and Genesis have got the tools now to take these 3 out. Do you reckon leave Genesis to focus on 10 num, or start Genesis swinging around with Han just to see if we can pick off a bit more damage on Dutch and Garvin?
I would probably try and take out 10 of them. It's always good to try and clear off the boards for points, and it's quite a lot of points.
Yeah, I mean that's another 28 points added if you do take him out. So
yeah, what you don't want to do is allow 10 to come back in on 1 health and get 1 shot off.
Yeah, that would be less than ideal.
Han's still got a lot of health. He's still got L337 as well.
Yeah.
Which is a great card because you can use both sides, and then you get your make your opponent reroll, which can be quite interesting if someone's chucking an enhanced proton torpedo or a torpedo at you, and you just go right L337, reroll those.
And I take it you have to do that prior to any spending of a target lock.
Yes, I believe so.
Because I mean that would be brutal if they go, oh, I got 5 blanks. Oh, I'll re-roll with my target lock, get 5 hits. You go, no, re-roll them again, back to 5 blanks.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then when you flip it, you get more blue maneuvers.
Yeah. Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Will Genesis survive to get the shots off?
I mean, that gas guy is going to help massively.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, it looks like Dutch might. I think Dutch would be just obstructed. Garvin definitely, but
Han might even be able to kill Dutch before Dutch gets to shoot. Ooh.
Interesting.
And kill Dutch before Dutch gets a shot off.
Might have to rotate that arc to be able to guarantee it, but yeah. I mean, that's range 1. No modifications, though, that's the thing. Again, that target lock is still stuck down on this one here. So...
What was he going for? Don't know. No, I think he's going for Dutch. And is rolling really well. Oh, that was on 10
That was on 10 so that is 10 gone, and that was like a direct hit there.
Maybe he wants the shots from Genesis Red to go on the other 2 then.
Yeah. I mean, you can't argue with the results. There.
Yeah, but I probably would have gone for Dutch, but I mean, fair play, it worked, and he killed 10
I think Dutch is going to go back in at Han with the range 1 on the dorsal. Yeah, spend that focus. That's good. Yep. Oh, I think...
Is that half points?
No, I think there was an L3 call there. Which is good because it meant only 1 damage instead of 3. 3 would have been half points. I think that's L337 flip there. And now Garvin into Genesis. There should be 3 hits, not... Yeah, there we go. And... Yeah.
So on that L337, it just says, while you defend, you may flip this card. If you do, the attacker must reroll all your attack dice. So maybe you can choose.
Oh, interesting. So no actual specificity.
Yeah, there's no set. So maybe you can allow him to modify his dice and then just say, right, okay, flip the card.
Brutal. Very brutal. Genesis going into Dutch. That's not going to do much. An uncharacteristic blank out there from Rich. So right now, this is definitely quite in Rich's favour, and I think it's going to be quite tricky for Madbots to actually get into a good position against either of those two, because Genesis and Han are in a nice position just to breeze past. Potential K-turn from Genesis and
5k, I think they've got.
I believe so. Let's have a quick look. 3 or 5k, so could do either or there. I think the 5k would be safer just to avoid the potential bumping to Garvin.
So here's a question. Fenrau, so you're up on points. Fenrau's only got 1 left. Would you keep Fen away now and allow Han and Genesis to do the damage?
So
or would you risk it and bring Fen back in?
In a casual game, where there's nothing on the line, you're not playing for MOV, I'd be bringing Fen back in because Fen is fun. In a tournament situation, I wouldn't be surprised or disappointed if he keeps him away, because again, Fen's a lot of points. I mean, he's 71 points, so if Madbots is able to take him out, that's another 35 points he can gain. Although it won't do much to the current standings in the points, that is a big swing on MOV.
Yeah, I would say the same. I would probably keep Fen away, maybe until you can possibly get Dutch down. If you can kill Dutch, then maybe bring Fen back in. But yeah, it's a completely different way of playing. When you play tournament, you're a lot more focused on points.
Yeah. And obviously it can get quite difficult as well. I mean, this is game 3, so by this point you've played 2 games in quite quick succession. Fortunately, I believe we had the lunch break before this game, so it allowed them just to have a couple of moments just to sort of recharge. But you've been concentrating so much that fatigue will set in. But yeah, I definitely think keep Fen away.
Yeah, I think that he's doing that.
Yeah, there's no need to risk him. I mean, you've got Han is there in a great position. I don't even know.
Is that going to fit?
I don't even know why.
Surprised he's done that.
Dorsal turret.
Yeah.
And then they'll just focus in on Garvin.
Okay.
Because they've got half points on Dutch. It's 1 more to get half points on Garvin. So why not? Oh no, still going for Dutch. I think just trying to get out of that dorsal turret.
Garvin could do it, try and get his proton torpedo fired off, but that could be tricky.
Yeah, that will be very tricky, unfortunately.
Oh, I think he's still in.
I'm not sure, because obviously it's range 1 to 2 with the dorsal turret. Although it clipped it at the back there, that would be outside, I believe. Popping those in, so hit crit. And there is half points on Garvin with a crit going through. And the crit is... Oh, it's a fuel leak. That is not what you want right now.
Han Solo has really been putting some work in this game.
Yeah. I think Genesis as well has just been there, like, picking up some of those scraps, getting some little nibbles in there. And those two have done well. I mean, Fen hasn't been his usual self. He's had a couple of good shots, but he's not been his usual self. I think getting trapped by Garvin and Dutch and eating that advanced proton torpedo definitely did not help. And then the thermal detonator. So, I mean, Dutch has actually done all 3 of those points of damage on Fen there. So well done to Dutch. Not a ship you'd expect to be putting damage into a Fang fighter.
I think it's quite good to see that Rich has managed to use pretty much all his tools, all his upgrades.
Yeah, he has actually. And I think think that Madbots has probably used as much of the tools that he'll be happy that he's used most of the things he's got. Admittedly, he didn't.
Very effective bombs.
Yeah, he didn't get proton rockets off, but I think that's there as if I can pull it off, that would be brilliant, rather than I must get this off. And not having the advanced proton torpedoes go off from Garvin, again, I think that although you'd like it, you're not banking on that being the be-all and end-all there.
Yeah, I mean sometimes an upgrade can be effective just for its threat.
Yeah.
Just having the threat out there of your bombs or I change the way I think because I don't want to get into range 1 of your proton torpedoes.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't always have to use something for it to be effective.
I mean, sometimes...
is he going to boost past here?
I mean, be rude not to, right?
Han has done some arc dodging.
I mean, Han has been over so much of that. He's covered pretty much that whole half a ball side there.
They do move fast.
Yeah. I mean, the Scum Falcon, it's just... I'd arguably say it's one of the better Falcons of the three, purely because of the effectiveness of its points as well.
Point-wise, yeah.
Yeah, and some of the tools you can get on there are brilliant. I mean, don't get me wrong, if you're talking best Falcons, you are probably talking about Death Ray, but she's very expensive. And I think that some of her upgrades, Corsella, we're looking at you, probably could do with a bit of a points upgrade. Oh, that is going to be bye-bye Garvin there.
Ouch.
With that fuel leak triggering.
Han's cleaning up.
Yeah, Han is doing all the work. And you know what? We were mentioning earlier about do you turn in Fen? I think maybe you do it this, but now you could.
I would hard one in with Fen now. Definitely.
Yeah, hard one with Fen, because even if Dutch gets in a good position, you could probably barrel roll out of the arc. Because I think if we say Dutch is going to do too hard to there, we'll see Fen hard ones to there.
Yeah.
And then
I'd even be tempted.
boosts.
Yeah, I'd even be tempted to do a little bank.
Yeah.
To try and get the dorsal turret, because I don't think Concordia face-off and stuff will work.
No, it has
when you're in this side.
It has to be that forward arc.
Yeah, so it might actually be his best shot of getting through Fen's defences.
Yeah, so he has done the bank there. So let's just see. I think that hard one would be good.
Hard one and boost. Hard one focus boost.
Yeah. Or would he just play it safe? I mean, that...
He could just shoot off, yeah.
That turret is now definitely turned... Again, still ship left.
Could just shoot off and allow the rest of the ships to regroup.
Yeah, just trying to change that target lock to the middle obstacle there. I think it's a bit out of range there for trick shot though, Rich. Sorry. It's worth a try, but I think that would be even out of range for a regular and a tantive.
Trick and long shot. Oh, yeah, he's off.
Yeah, Fen's off.
Not having any of it.
I reckon boost. Yeah, there we go. Bye, Fen.
Come chase me.
Fen has just baited them down. Genesis is just going to power through now. I reckon a big 3-bank down here to try and catch would be my anticipation, and I don't know what Garvin can really do to stop that.
Can Dutch maybe try and reload some of his bombs?
I don't think he's going to have enough time to
I don't know
pull
if
it
he'll have a
off.
chance. Yeah.
Because I just don't think that he's in a good enough position to be able to pull those bombs off.
Can you reload Advanced Proton Torpedoes?
Yes, you can. It is one that you can reload.
Not thermal detonators. What's the one you can't reload?
Dark
Proximity
One
mines.
probe, proximity mines and Dark One probe droids as well. You can't. So let's see. Oh, still playing it cautious there. I think trying to set the trap in a couple of turns' time.
That sets him up nicely for a hard turn next time, or even shoot behind the Y-wing.
I'll tell you what. I said it earlier, but Rich is very good at this patient play. He doesn't rush in, which is quite refreshing actually. It's not an easy thing to be able to do and do effectively. And it looks like he's actually getting it set up for a triple whammy there, because Fenn's now K-turned, ready to storm back in.
Setting up for the grand finale.
Oh, it's gonna be a good one here. I'm looking forward to this actually.
Ben's just going to come in and get the kill shot.
Yeah, Fenn is going to get
He's
revenge.
just like, right, I've been waiting for this. I'm on 1 health. I'm going to get my revenge for all those bombs you dropped on me.
Although I think Dutch might try and spoil the party by going hard in between those obstacles in a moment. I know he's just about to take a shot, but I reckon Dutch will just go like this.
Yeah.
To try and say, nope, come and get me. See if he can take on Genesis. Now, I wouldn't necessarily say here either that Madbots has done much wrong in this game. There's a few moves where I thought he could have turned it a bit earlier, but generally I think what it's been is just Rich has had some really good dice, and Han is just really taking advantage of being I6 and being able to get around the board so quickly.
Yeah, facing up against 2 I6s that can dodge your arcs is quite difficult.
Oh, there we go. There's the 2 hard. Gonna see if we can get some half points on Rich there. On Rich's Genesis red there, I reckon.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, nice little face off there.
Oh, he could get target lock and focus.
That is a great ability, it really is.
Yeah. So good.
Now, did Fed anticipate that? No.
Oh,
Fenn
playing safe.
Maybe Fenn was trying to bait there.
Still playing very cautious with Fenn.
Yeah.
Which yeah, you don't want to give up MOV.
You don't need to really, do you?
No.
So that arc is pointed now left to right, so I don't know if Han is going to have range. I'd have been tempted to boost in, actually. So range 3. Yeah, I'd have been tempted to boost in and just leave the arc there and just get a bit closer. Nothing. What can Dutch do on Genesis? Hit crit, not bad.
Yeah. Ooh, that's the spend focus.
Oh, elusive. He's
could just take it.
No, he's spending it. I think at that point I might have just taken that. There would have been 1 damage on the shields, and then he'd have had a double wanted shot back. But again, hindsight is 20/20.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, if he just still had that focus, that would have been Dutch down to 1. Not enough to take him out, but it is.
Dutch is holding on.
He really is. That's the thing with Y-Wings. Although they've only got the 1 green dice, still a lot of health to chew through.
Surely Fen can come sweeping in from behind now.
Oh yeah, I think you got to.
With no worries, yeah.
I mean, Hahn is in a great position just to come alongside, doing maybe a 1 bank, and then he might have that obstacle in the way.
Yeah, he's got that obstacle locked, ready to go.
I mean, the thing is, Dutch goes first, so Dutch is going to have to go either bump or go a lot faster to try and get past. Goes faster.
See a K-turn from Genesis.
Yep. Might put him out of range though, because obviously the K-turn he's got was the 5K turn.
Do you not have a 3K turn as well?
Let me just double check that actually. Again, I very rarely fly the M3A.
Oh, it might just be a 5. Can't remember.
No, he does have the 3, but he's doing the 5.
Yeah. Gives him more distance, I suppose.
Yeah. Might just catch range 3. I'm not 100% sure. It's so that we do have a range 3 template just further up on the screen. So I think it is going to be out.
Ooh.
Oh,
is that on the rock?
It is on the rock, but he's got it locked, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And he's rotating the arc, so yeah, that will be trick shot on. Fen now coming in.
Kira doing her work. Yeah. Fen's now decided to join. He says, right, I want a piece of this now.
Yeah, focus
want to
boost.
Get in. Let me in.
I say definitely shoot with Fen first if he's got range. See if you can strip that token, because then you've got the bigger shot coming from Hahn, I reckon. Unless they're going the other way, Hahn first. So it'll only be 2 dice for Dutch because of Kira not getting the advantage of the rock.
Oh, good dice.
Oh, and that is it.
Ah.
Dutch Vander bites the dust.
Good game.
Very well played there by Rich. Really managing to nullify a lot of those insane abilities that the Rebels had there. And even when the advanced pressure torpedo did come off, managed to come out okay from it, to be honest.
Yeah, I think good use of careful play, not spending the focus with Fen and just being a bit careful with Fen.
Yeah.
Not being
too gung-ho.
Yeah, you can fall into that trap of just diving in at range 1, and sometimes it doesn't always work.
Indeed. But I think it was well flown by both players there. I think Madbots was a bit unfortunate again. Those dice were very good for Rich this round, but it was an enjoyable game to watch, and I do like seeing some Rebel Jank on the table, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, everyone, that was round 3 for the ambush at Alderaan. Another great game. We will have round 4 coming for you very soon. But Ben, I just want to say thank you very much for joining us and providing some commentary and your insights on your favoured Scum faction there.
Yeah, pleasure as always.
We look forward to having you back on the channel soon. But guys, I think we're going to leave the video there. As we mentioned earlier, if you do want to support us on Patreon, the link is in the description below. As always, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time.